G'day. I'm on Binning country, out in Western Arnhem Land, a place called Inyaluk Hill, just near the town of Gunbalanya. I've been asked by some Binning family to do a video explaining kinship. Aboriginal Australians have the world's most sophisticated, most complex kinship system. It's an extraordinary system that ties people to each other, ties people to the natural world, to plants and animals, and ties people to country. Really complicated system, and I'll give it a crack explaining it. It's called a moiety system. This system goes right throughout Australia. In different language groups, they use different language names to talk about the moieties and the skin names. I'll use the language names from this part of Arnhem Land, but the system goes right throughout the continent, meaning everybody's related to everyone else and everybody's related to country. Moiety, it's an anthropological word. It means division of two, so yin and yang, they're moieties. For Binning, everything is split. The whole world is split into two moieties, Yirritja and Dua. Every plant species is either Yirritja or Dua. Every type of rock is either Yirritja or Dua. Every animal is either Yirritja or Dua. An example, the white cockatoo, yellow crest, Yirritja. The black cockatoo with the red tail, Dua. Every person also is either Yirritja or Dua. Now that's patrilineal, so you inherit your moiety from your father as you inherit the belonging to country. Your father's country becomes your country. Your father's moiety becomes your moiety. If he's Yirritja, you're Yirritja. If he's Dua, you're Dua. Within these two moieties, there's in total 16 what Binning call skin names. Skin is identity. It doesn't translate to English. It's got nothing to do with physical skin, but it's who you are. It's an identity. You inherit your skin name from your mother. So your mother's country, you have what's called a Jungai relationship with, a caretaker relationship, and you look after their ceremony. You have this obligation to look after that country, and your skin name comes through your mother's side. So within these two moieties, follow me here, you've got a male and female equivalent of 4 generational skin names. So in Yirritja, you've got the male and female at the top. Imagine it's around in a circle. Male and female skin name at the top. The male and female equivalent of another skin name here. Another one there, another one there. Same with Dua. So 2, 4, 6, 8 on Yirritja, 8 on Dua, 16 in total. I mentioned, take your moiety from your father. Your mother will always have the opposite moiety to your father. I'll explain why in a second. And whatever she is, whatever skin name your mother has on this 4 generational circle, you're the next one round. If you're male, the male equivalent. If you're a female, the female. That dictates your place in the world, dictates all your relationships, how you relate to people, how you relate to country, how you relate to animals and plants. Anyone with your skin name on that system, so you think all of your brothers, for example, in my case, would be your brothers. Anyone with the female equivalent of your skin name is your sister. Now, that's not just blood-related sisters. Anybody, anywhere, even if the language names for the skin names change throughout language groups throughout the continent, if it's your equivalent of your sister's skin name, that is your sister. And that's an avoidance relationship. When you're kids, you play together. When you reach an age of, around puberty, you stop speaking to each other. You still got a close relationship, but it's no longer a verbal relationship. You don't speak to each other. Every one of these skin names has an opposite moiety skin name that they can marry. There's actually a first choice and a second choice. So imagine drawing this on a chalkboard and this interconnecting lines of relationships saying who you can and who you can't marry. Every skin name has this opposite moiety right skin that they can marry. There's all sorts of avoidance relationships in this too. So it's talked about like poison cousins. Another avoidance relationship, when you find someone, right skin, and you marry, you no longer speak to their mother. A lot of white fellas think that's not a bad idea, not speaking to your mother-in-law anymore. But it's all about respect. It means everybody's got someone they've got to look after, and so everyone's got someone that's got to look after them. It's this phenomenally complicated kinship system, which means that Binning, Aboriginal Australians, have the most diverse genetics of any group of people. It doesn't just stop inbreeding. Everybody in the world figured out how to stop inbreeding, except for maybe the royal family, but that's another story. This means that not only do you stop inbreeding, but you create this really strong genetic diversity, which stops the spread of genetic disease. It's a phenomenal system, and I've been lucky enough to be adopted into that system. In Yolngu, my skin is balang, it's dua moiety. It means I've got a relationship with every binning I come across. I say, you know, my skin's balang, and they go, oh, you're balang, okay. That means we're brothers, or that means, oh, you're my poison cousin, or you're my brother, so that's an avoidance, or you call me auntie, or you call me... All of my father's brothers are my uncles, but all of his sisters are my auntie, and it goes the same with mother. Anyone with my mother's skin name is my mother, but all of her brothers would be my uncle. Very complex system, an extraordinary way of tying people into family, and means everybody's related to everyone. One big, complex family. An extraordinary way of looking at the world, and to really understand how Aboriginal people view the world and tie in with country, you've got to get your head around this kinship system. Extraordinary.